Coach, another game where you guys forced a ton of turnovers. Just what are your thoughts of the defense intensity you guys have played through these 3 games so far?
Yeah, I think we've come out with really good defensive intensity. I think again these guys are sticking to what we want to do from a game plan standpoint. I think they've been really good. I think we set the tone early in games with our defensive intensity. So I've been really pleased. I can hear you.
Just kind of going off that, I mean, what was the message to the players going into the game to get them to play like that?
I think the biggest thing is, again, they just won at Marist, and it doesn't matter. You win on the road in college basketball, it's really hard. I don't care what the competition is, who you're playing. Winning on the road's hard. And so we wanted to make sure we came out with an intensity that they knew they weren't going to win. And I think that was our mindset, that we wanted to set the tone very early, that this wasn't you weren't going to do what you just did 3 days ago.
You got some solid minutes from Ike Cornish, who redshirted last year, had a career high 9 points today. What does he kind of add to the rotation?
Yeah, I think the whole bench really was solid. It's tough. It's tough playing. That first unit has come out with great defensive intensity, so I've kept them in there a little bit longer. But I thought the whole bench really played well.
None of your starters. If y'all can wait for the microphone, just so it gets
Apologies. Coach, none of your starters really played too many minutes. How important is that, given what you have coming up this weekend with the back-to-back?
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping that would be the goal. Ju's only a sophomore, so he can handle 25. But Don and Jameer, a couple older guys, Dante a little bit older, Hawk's a little bit older, just being mindful of really the next, not only this week, but the next 2 weeks, of the amount of games and who we're playing, making sure we're not taxing ourselves when we don't need to be.
Coach Juju, another, matches career high in points again tonight. Is this kind of what you envisioned from him in these first few games of the season, going against competition like this, and then when it heats up, what do you expect from him moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, this is the way he practices every day. This is what I see every day in practice, so this is not surprising to me. I do think he should have more assists. I think he's got that ability. He's such a good passer. He does it in practice, so I think that's something where I'm gonna get on him a little bit, because I think he could be a 19-9 and 4 assist guy.
Kevin, you mentioned the last game. It takes a little while for Hakeem to kind of get into a flow of things sometimes, but it seemed like tonight, especially with that early pass, he got into that flow early.
Yeah,
Did you kind of agree with that assessment?
Yeah, I do. I got to do a little better job of just getting him involved earlier, to be honest with you. I'm still trying to figure him out. And in practice, you do drills for 45 minutes before you really start going up and down. So then by the time you go up and down, I hope he's ready. I got to get him involved a little bit more and try to get him the ball and get him involved a little bit more, because I think that, A, it's good for us. He's such a good passer, but I think it's really good for him.
Coach, what does it mean for you guys to be 3-0 now? 3 games at home, 3 wins at home, going into a weekend where you guys are going to face 2 pretty tough teams?
It's better than being 0-3.
Is it too early to start worrying about three-point shooting, or were you happy with the shots today, or where do you think they are in terms of shooting there?
I am I'm starting to get a little worried, to be honest with you. I know what's our issue is that they all can shoot the basketball, and so we're unfortunately settling every once in a while when you have great shooters, they think they can make every shot, and I think we're settling a little bit for the first shot, and I think that's just a little bit of early season jitters, early season offense. But I think we were 9 for 20 our first game. I just think we need to take some better ones at times. It's kind of a yes and a no answer, I know. Sorry. Yeah, it's in New York in me.
Okay, so Juju drew 9 fouls. What do you like about the situations that he's getting himself into?
I think he's starting to play a lot more physical. his duck-ins are getting more physical. I think he's embracing physicality a little bit. He's not shying away from it. It's something I saw last year. He wasn't the one, being the first to contact, where I think he's being a lot more first to contact on duck-ins. I think that's one reason why he's getting the ball in really good post position. And I think, when you play physical that way, you draw a lot of contact. And he's been big, he's been physical, he's got great hands, so he always catches everything. I think that's the reason why he's drawing fouls.
Coach, on opening night, it was Dante Scott who had a breakout game. Then against Western Carolina, Julian Reese has a phenomenal game, and obviously continues that tonight. But you also have Hakeem Hart, who 13 and 8. What does it mean to you to have 3 different players step up in 3 different games?
Well, when you have a roster, Dante's senior, Don's a fifth-year senior, Jameer's a senior, Hawk's a senior. When you have those guys out there, I think they all understand that at any given night, it could be one of their nights. So I think that's one reason why you see us being so balanced, is the fact that you have guys that have kind of been around the block a little bit. And then you had Julian, who's also benefiting for the fact that, when we went 9 for 20 in the first game, people are starting to run at Dante and run at Don. So I think it's a good problem to have, because you never know who's going to get you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just having a big lead late in the game, what does it mean for you as a coach? You know how hard these guys work to be able to kind of unload the bench there in the last couple minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'm really not thrilled with it. We should have had a 34-point win last week. What's today? Thursday. We should have had a 34-point win Thursday. We should have had at least a 35-point win today. I don't like the way we ended the game, so if we don't start ending them better, then they're not going to get the opportunity, because stats matter. All of a sudden your KenPom goes down, your net goes down. I mean, the last 4 minutes are just as important as the first 4 minutes. And these guys, they do work hard, and they are good players. There's no reason to blow a 34-point lead in the last 4 minutes of the game. So there comes a responsibility when you step on the court. You got to do what you're supposed to do. Thank you.
You got it. You got it, Coach.
This question for either one of you. You guys forced 15 turnovers tonight. Another evening where you guys have played really tough defense. What are your thoughts on the team's defensive effort over these last 3 years, and how has it helped you guys generate some momentum on the offensive end?
I feel like defense is a really important part of the game, especially for us. On nights like this when we're not shooting the ball as well, I feel like we can fall back on that and use that as fuel to do other things on offense as well.
So you guys recorded 14 assists, but didn't allow anyone on the other team to record a steal. How have you guys been taking such good care of the ball in that regard?
We just been trying to put the emphasis on just trying to make sure we keep track of our turnovers and make sure they don't get too high. Because at the end of the day, you're a basketball player. You're gonna make mistakes. Sometimes you're gonna turn the ball over, but don't let one turnover turn into two turn into 3, and etc. So we just try to maintain and try to understand that we can't have this amount of turnovers, because once we get to larger games, it's gonna be those turnovers that really come back to bite us. So we just try to lock in on maintaining turnovers. So.
Like you mentioned, like the threes haven't been falling the last 2 games, but you guys notched a season high in points in the paint tonight, especially to both of you. What does that kind of mean to have that success on the inside early in the season?
It's definitely a confidence booster. Knowing we can do that thing, we can do that. We can fall back on that when our shots aren't falling from outside. Yeah, it's just a confidence booster. We can, yeah.
So you guys come out hot. I think you had 7 or so turnovers before 10 minutes had gone by. What is the confidence level like on defense when you guys are having that much success earlier in the game, and how does that kind of set the tone for the rest of the game?
It gives everybody energy once we get those turnovers because it leads to fast break points, and once we get our fast break points, it's just easier for us to not eat up, but it's easier for us to have in the back of our mind. Maybe we don't really need to just go as aggressive sometimes. So just getting those steals, it really just energizes us and makes us want to do more to get those steals. But at times, it also helps us understand that like we may be getting these steals, but don't try to cheat the play or don't try to like really go crazy with steals because sometimes you try to look for steals, you cheat the play, and it gives them easy opportunities to score. So we just knew that once we got those steals, it would bring us energy, but we had to stay locked on not trying to run through passing lanes and not trying to cheat plays and just make sure we got the right steals, not the wrong ones.
Juju, Coach talked about how you're way more physical this year than last year, especially with your duck-ins and how you're posting up. Do you feel that? And can you kind of talk about that difference in terms of your physicality from this year to last year?
Yeah, I can definitely tell the difference within the stats and on the court. First game, I didn't really do those type things. Only had 7. We watched that in film. We took that in accountability. And we just made sure I just made sure I did it in the next game now, and I feel like it just helped my game overall.
Juju, what happened in that sequence where you kind of shooting the ball a little bit in the Binghamton huddle and the refs had to review something there?
Yeah, I shot 0 for 2 from the free throw line. Previously, I was trying to get my shots up, and I guess they tried to huddle up under the basket, and I didn't see them, so I guess they took that in a little bit of disrespect, which I understand, and they just pushed me, so I was just thrown off a little bit.
Dante, you guys have won the first 3 games by at least 20 points every single time. What can you take from the early season success into this next few weeks of play?
What I'm taking into the next few games and what my team should take into relax. But I'm just taking into like even though we won by 20, it's gonna be nice where we not up by that margin of points, and we just gotta really lock on staying consistent on our defense and staying consistent on the little things that really make us win games. So just going back to like Juju said, we more physical in the paint and just locking on getting those paint touches and making those early assists out from the paint to really push score and make sure we stay locked in on that. So just taking from that, just understanding that not every game is going to be a blowout game. We just got to stay locked in.
Early on, Willard mentioned it was a process for you guys to get it just to his play style. I think 3 games in, you guys feel a little bit more comfortable playing the way he expects you guys to play?
I wouldn't say we always there, but every day we're improving. We're just getting better every day with the stuff that he tries to instill in us and try to put in as practice goes. We really all kind of locking into what he has in store for us. Nobody's been fighting back on any of the things that we've been doing. Everybody's been kind of bought into like all the things he's been trying to have us do, like going up on press, being more physical, being more active, and everybody's been buying in. So it's been really good, and that's actually been helping our team a lot to just try to get into the play style that he likes. So.
Juju, you and Ike, both from Baltimore, both in the same class. Obviously, he couldn't play last year, but to see him come out tonight and have the best game of his career so far, what does that mean to you and to him?
That means a lot to me. Ike's been working really hard during last season when he had the redshirt season. He's been working like one of the hardest workers I know, really. I feel like he just deserves it, everything he's getting right now. I feel like y'all haven't really seen all that he can do out there, really.